This changes everything for the Buccaneers. Now, obviously, we're all kind of reeling from the fact that the Bucs have lost three straight games for the second time this season, this time to all three division opponents in a row. So the Buccaneers we all feel like we're at the bottom of the division at this point, all heartbreaking close losses. And now we're just looking for answers and what the future of the Buccaneers is going to look like, because I don't think this is going to be the same team next year. On any stretch, it would be almost organizational negligence to just run this back. So we're just going to break this all down. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone who's watching. I apologize for not making videos sooner. It's been a busy week, obviously, with just the holidays and everything. So we're just going to roll right into what we're going to be talking about, which is like kind of focusing on the coaches, I would say, and how the rest of the season might, should pan out. All of the above, and kind of who's to blame, which is a little bit of everybody, but also a select few in the majority of the blame category. So let's just jump right into it, because I think it's kind of a crazy subject. Bailey Adams from Peter Report says that even if the Bucs somehow manage to back their way into another NFC South title, a first-round playoff exit feels inevitable anyway. It's just hard to stomach the fact that after all the amazing work the Bucs did from an organizational standpoint for the 50th season celebration and how special they made it for the fans, the team on the field could not hold up its end of the bargain. I think that is very, very true. That just this team after the bye week has been nothing short of just disappointing and really sad to watch in a lot of ways. And it's kind of mind blowing. We have the most loaded wide receiver room in the league, and we didn't use them against the Panthers. We were like decided that a run heavy game was the way to go, which I have to say was just, it made no sense to me, man. Like, where Grizzard, I just want to know what he was thinking. And maybe he wasn't at all. This game plan makes no sense. Bulls said that, oh, last year we ran all over them, so that should work this time. And that infuriates me when I read a quote like that. Todd, this is not the same team, both as the Bucs and also the Panthers, as last year. You should be looking at this year's footage and also realize the fact that our receiver room is absolutely loaded. You have to take advantage of that. And they only started throwing the ball at the end. And it feels like almost the interception that happened in the end was like Todd saying, see, we didn't want to throw the ball. No, that was just a miscommunication between Mike and Baker on trying to get on the same page in a very high tense situation. That's just not fair. He didn't say those words, but it felt like that's what he was getting at. And to just go that run heavy when, listen, we were in a dogfight. I just feel like you have to open up the playbook. You have to, because otherwise the Panthers are going to clue in on the fact that we're going to be running the ball a lot. And they were going to stop us, enough times where they felt like confident that they could win that game at home. And here we are now. We are in second in the division at 7-8. We're, it's just unbelievable to think that at one point we were 5-1 and 6-2, and now we're here at 7-8. It is disgusting to see how far we've fallen. I think Grizzard he cannot be the offensive coordinator next year. I was singing his praises at the beginning of the year. This is what's also so crazy, is that the Buccaneers have gotten healthier as the season's gone on, and we've gotten worse. That's coaching. That's how you know it's coaching. There's no bigger signifier that the Bucs are being coached badly. When you get healthier, you suddenly start to play worse. You start like worrying about, how can we get the ball to these guys? Like, you start overthinking the game. No, get your ball to the playmakers. This is something that Liam Cohen understood, and look what he's doing in Jacksonville right now. He has completely revolutionized that team, and they're still in play for the 1 seed in the AFC. Unbelievable. They just took down the Denver Broncos in Denver. Like, I just think that it's really frustrating. Here's the other thing, though, when it comes to the coaching thing. A lot of people are mad that, like, why didn't we just promote Liam Cohen last season? That's not a fair argument, in my opinion. I think the Bucs were, a lot of fans were really happy with the season that we had last year, 10-7. Baker threw for 40-something touchdowns. The defense wasn't nearly as bad as it is this year. To fire a coach after that kind of a season where it was showing improvement from the previous season would have seemed a little ridiculous and unfair and kind of bad optics, to be honest. So it's just that's just kind of the nature of the situation. I don't think that would have been fair to Todd. Now, this season, the way things have played out is on everybody. It's on Todd, it's on Jason Licht, it's on Grizzard. Everybody is at fault because We did not, like, our pass rush, non-existent, cannot do a thing, and I think that's affecting Antoine Winfield's numbers. I know he still made the Pro Bowl and everything, but like it's his PFF numbers are pretty bad, and but I wouldn't blame that all on him. It's circumstantial of just the fact that our pass rush cannot create anything. I think there was 2 sacks. One of them was from Lavonte and Logan Hall or something, and the other one was Sebastian Georgiev. But that was after Bryce Young like tripped over one of his own offensive linemen. So that was like a gimme. So it's really only one real sack in that game. Um, I you cannot tell me that the organization did enough defensively to put the right players on the field, and you cannot tell me that with the offensive firepower and what we were doing at the beginning of the season, we beat the Texans with one of the worst makeshift offensive lines that you could possibly put together, and we still beat them. We had an amazing last-second drive, and we beat the Niners, we beat the Seahawks in a shootout. What happened to that team? What happened to Josh Guzard? Where was the Baker looks like he's completely lost. He's not seeing the field. He's playing like the worst ball that he's played as a Buccaneer. And now people are questioning whether Baker's going to be sticking around, whether he's going to get his contract this upcoming offseason, which I thought was a sure thing. Now it's being questioned whether they're going to play out his contract and see okay, prove it to us now in your 3rd year. And that's really unfortunate. This guy has been just going through a rotating door of offensive coordinators, but it is clear just from the second half of the season, Grizard does not have what it takes to be calling plays right now. I mean, it's just a step too far in what he is capable of currently. I'm not saying he can't do it in the future. There's a lot of guys who had to take a step back before they took another 2 steps forward. That's totally fine. But right now, Josh Grizard is not the guy that should be calling offensive plays for the Buccaneers. And Todd Bowles should not be the head coach. I think defensively, he actually has a lot to offer. But the play at the end of the first half, where I was furious on the live stream. If you saw me, I thought that was a ridiculous play to call. It was a blitz, a 0-cover blitz. And I was like, that. I literally said before the play, that's the one thing you shouldn't do, because you leave yourselves vulnerable to a touchdown. And if you looked at the footage, if you looked at through the season this year, Bryce has been pretty good over on the blitz. He's been throwing a lot of dimes, and we just got beat over the top with Ted McMillan. And it's just that's a situational thing that I just could not believe that Todd Bowles allowed to happen, or just call a play call that happened, and I was vindicated all over the internet because everyone was saying the same thing I was, that is an inexcusable defensive call to make when you just need to hold them to 3 points. And guess what? We lost by 3 points. Then that's a touchdown. That's a 4-point difference there instead of giving up a field goal. And we could have won the game that way. Not that, I mean, this team, they don't look good regardless. They probably shouldn't be in the playoffs. Neither should the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers have better wins for the most part. Or it's the same thing. We beat the Niners and the Seahawks. They beat the Packers and the Rams. You can just give and take. But they look better to end the season than they did to start the season. And we've had the opposite effect. We started really great, and now we looked really bad. So it's just something that changes feel inevitable. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Todd Bowles, when talking about the blitz, said they have to throw it out of bounds or throw it out of the end zone. He should have been back talking about Dean and make that play. He did not make it, and that's to me a sign that, I mean, Todd's working with what he has, but at the same time, you have to understand where your strengths are with your players and where their weaknesses are. If you there's just too much faith in the guy to cover a potentially the offensive rookie of the year with Ted McMillan. And I just think that's really frustrating. It's a risk not worth taking. And I get it. Dean's having a good year, but I just don't like that risk when it's not necessary. It'd be one thing if it was the end of the game or whatever. It's just, that's another really bad blitz, just like the playoff game against the Rams those years back in 2021. But too much faith in your players. You have to understand and put them in the best situation to succeed, and I do not think that Todd is doing that. He's just calling plays as if he has the best players available to him, or he's calling plays like he has a 99 overall team on Madden, rather than understanding this is not where his strength lies. One-on-one, when a guy like Ted, who's 6'6" or something, he's gonna make the play, and Bryce has been making a lot of really good throws, better than Baker. He completely outplayed Baker, And Peter Plank, I liked their tweet here. He said that let's not rewrite history because we're upset. Yes, Todd Bowles has not been good enough as a head coach. But he was the architect of one of the nastiest defenses we've ever seen. The biblical ass whooping the Chiefs endured was a Bowles production. These two things are separate, and that's what I'm saying. I think defensively, Bowles is actually very smart. But he overestimates what his players can do. And I like the belief that he has. I think that'll work as a defensive coordinator, and I think he will get another job as one in this league. He deserves that. But just as a head coach, he's not motivating the guys enough. And you can tell by the energy on the field. People are trying to match like that energy. Or they will resemble that energy that Todd gives off. It's just very stoic, very calm, cool, and collected no matter what's going on. Sometimes you'll see him upset, but for the most part, you'll see the assistant coaches, you'll see the players all trying to just kind of no one's firing each other up, no one's getting in each other's faces, and that's what this team clearly needs. Someone needs to get angry, someone needs to show some passion, and it's not there right now. And I think that is a sign of Todd's lack of leadership in that sense. I get that's not his style, but look at the way that things are going. Something has to change, and he's not changing anything, and that's just a really frustrating thing to watch. And it's the same thing goes for Grizzard. You get all of your star receivers back, the most loaded room in the league, and you do nothing with them. When we are in a must-win game, you decide, we're just gonna run the ball. Are you kidding me? The Panthers defense is not that good. You're not going up against the Texans defense, even though we beat them. And you're not going up against the Broncos or anything like that. It's silly, it's ridiculous, and it's annoying. And lastly, I just want to end on this note here that Scott Reynolds from Pure Report said that the admitted game plan of offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard and head coach Todd Bowles was to come in and run the ball and win the time of possession on Sunday. The Bucs accomplished that mission, rushing for 169 yards and a touchdown on 33 carries, and controlling the clock with a 34-minute to 25-minute advantage. Rushing yards and winning the time of possession don't matter, though, if you don't score enough points. For the sixth straight game, Mayfield has been outdueled by the opposing quarterback, including quarterbacks like Jacoby Brissett, Tyler Shuck, Kirk Cousins, and Bryce Young, not to mention Drake May, Josh Allen, and Matthew Stafford. So, like I said, it's not just the coaches. Baker has not been good enough. He's been very open about that. Emeka and him they had one really good play during that game, and that's it. He was completely a no-show. Mike had some good plays, but overall, it was just they weren't a factor because we just kept running the dang ball. And listen, I've gone ad nauseum about this, but these are clear problems and frustrations that a lot of the fans are noticing and seeing, and it's time for them to pay the piper, and that includes Jason Licht making the tough call. He's really close to Todd Bowles, but if they don't want him to go leave the organization, you can pull up Bruce Arians, have him be an advisor, or if Todd wants to keep coaching, that would require him to probably be let go or part ways or however they want to call it. But I would be expecting that the Buccaneers would be going after someone with a bit more fire, in them. I know people are already, clamoring for John Gruden. I don't think that'll happen. But if John Harbaugh gets fired, he could be even though he's a little too similar to Todd, in my opinion, just in terms of their demeanor. I might want someone a little bit. Anyway, we'll talk about coaching candidates when probably the news comes out that Todd's been let go, but we'll see how it comes down to it. I still want to make the playoffs. I still want to win the division despite all of this. I'll just keep saying that because I want to see my team win. Draft position isn't as big of a deal to me as it is for other people. That's how losing football works and how you create a losing culture. And I'm in worry right now that we're in danger of losing our winning culture right now, and I want to preserve it as much as possible. So, question is for you guys: do you feel like this is the end of the Todd Bowles era in Tampa Bay? And who would you want to take over maybe in the future? Offensively, defensively, what's the route that the Buccaneers should be taking going forward? I want to hear your thoughts down below, and until next video, guys, I'll see you then.